So in this exercise we will be working simply on creating a very simple shape that represents a room with a door. So what we'll be doing is we will first create, as I showed you in the previous video, 3 different layers, one for doors, tables and walls. So from layer properties you can add these layers and change their names and colors. So I will delete these. First, from polyline we can start creating whatever shape that you have in mind. It could be, you could use the restrictions here for the ortho mode or polar point, or just to draw on your screen. You can have the arc shape and switch back to the line shape, and when you finish you can just click close. When you have your shape here, we will now create the thickness, the wall thickness. So you first make sure that you're creating these on the walls. If not, you just select it and move it to the walls layers. Clicking on the offset tool, you find it from the modify in the home toolbar. So offset tool is just this simple one here. Click on it. If you can't find it, you can type in O and enter, and then it will appear. You select the object that you, so after you select the offset tool, it asks you first to select the thickness or the distance that you want to offset. I had it previously set as 50, so I will set it now, probably, I will keep it 25 centimeters. Sorry, this is in millimeters, so, so I will have it 25 centimeters to 150. It asks you if you want it to be inside or outside the center line, so this baseline is the one I selected. Let's have it to the outside, and now you have your wall created, but offset tool is still on. To turn it off, just click on escape. So you have to get used to always click on escape in AutoCAD. This is the wall. This is very simple to be created. Now we will go to create a door. So we click on the door layer, and I will use polyline for that. Basically my door is going to be 90 probably, or 80 centimeter. I will make it bigger so it fits with the wall I created. I will activate the ortho, and I will go to polyline. I'll create a 90 centimeter in 5 centimeter thickness. I think that's okay. And when I finish, I will just click on see this close. So you can either use polyline or use the rectangle. I always prefer to use the polyline. It's just I want to do also to practice using it. From polyline, again, if you want to create an arc, you can use the arc tool, but also I'm going to create the polyline. From the corner, I'm going to do another 9 centimeter, and now I'm going to create the arc for the door. So I click on the arc here, and I will close the ortho. So as you can see, the arc is not centered where I want it to be centered. It has to be centered on the corner of the door. So I will check on the command line and click on center here, and now I select this as a center of the circle, and this is the end point. And when I finish, I'll just click escape. Now I have the door created, and it is on the door layer. To move the door and put it in the right place, now this is a very actually it's easy. It just takes a lot just to get used to it. So first I'm going to create where I want it to be. So I'll create the opening for the door. Let's say it's going to be here. I'm going first to deactivate all snaps I have, and if I activate the nearest perpendicular, and I can now have the mouse snap directly to the line. So when it shows this simple justification and like this like a symbol, like a, I don't know, green symbol. When it shows it, it means you're drawing on this line directly, and when it shows the perpendicular symbol, it means I am drawing also on the opposite line directly. So this is my first line, and I want it to be 90 centimeter wide. So I'm going to use the offset tool, and I will type 900, and I'll offset this one on the opposite direction 900. So you see it's offsetted directly on it. I will now have on the snap the midpoint activated. So the midpoint is activated, you see. I will create a polyline that connects two midpoints together, because that's where I want to put the door opening. Now I have a little problem here, that I made the opening as 900 centimeter instead of 85, because this is 5 centimeter, right? And then I have another 900, so I am 5 centimeter more. You can either adjust it by moving this 5, or let's keep it and see what's the smart thing about AutoCAD here. If I select all of these door segments, and I go to modify this, more options here, and modify, you can see a small arrow, and I check align. So align is a very, very important tool. If I click on it, it will ask me to specify the first source point. So this corner is the first source point, and now it asks me where is the the destination point. It's here, this corner, and this is the second one, and this is the destination one. And now it's created these virtual lines telling me that it will move this point here and this point here. However, as I explained before, this is 90, but this is 95. So if I click on continue, or just enter, it says scale object based on alignment points, yes or no. If you say no, then the door will be moved as it is without scaling it down. If you say yes, it will scale it down to fit these exact points as you see here. Now that's moving the door. We still have all these lines that we want to get rid of, so I'm going to use now the trim tool. The trim tool is the most favorite one. So you select all the objects that are here you want to trim, click on trim, and say there are different types of trimming, so I'm just going to say I want to trim this one, and if I zoom in, I also don't want this one. And now if I click escape to end it, I will have my door in the right one. You can either delete or keep this line, is up to you how you're drawing. If you want to delete it, you can go again to trim and select it. So you have to select all objects that you want to trim together, and say you don't want this line. So that's it. We created the door with the walls. Exactly the same applies to windows, so we won't be creating it in this exercise.